Let's play with that story by Rita Tinina, and we are asking you a big question tonight. Should President Uhuru Kenyatta assent to the bill seeking to gag the media? Should President Uhuru Kenyatta assent to the bill seeking to gag the media? Let us know what you think. You've listened in to the arguments by the honorable members of parliament. You can send a short message to the number 22155. You can tweet me at Lindo Guto. You can tweet us at KTN News. Should President Uhuru Kenyatta assent to the bill seeking to gag parliament? That is a conversation that we want to have tonight. Allow me to bring in Rosemary Obala, chairperson, Kenya Parliamentary Journalists Association. She's joining us from our I&M studio. Rosemary, before I speak to you, allow me to take our viewers through what's on the super wall. That is what the Constitution of Kenya says about the freedom of the media. I'm moving away so that the Jeep can focus on particular clause of the Constitution on the freedom of the media. The state shall not exercise control or interfere with any person engaged in broadcasting, the production or circulation of any publication or the dissemination of information by any medium or publication or dissemination. That is what the Constitution of Kenya says about the freedom of the media. So let me bring in Rosemary Obala, chairperson, Kenya Parliamentary Journalists Association. Rosemary, thank you so much for joining us. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Linda.
Tell me, Rosemary, first of all, break down these clauses for us. Clause 34, clause 35.
Okay, Linda, clause 34 talks about when somebody publishes a false or scandalized libel on parliament or parliament proceedings or parliamentary committees. At the same time, if somebody speaks words that are defamatory to parliament, then it relates to defamation. And Article 35 talks about when you're found to have defamed parliament, then you are entitled to a 2-year jail term, or you pay a fine of 500,000.
Okay, Rosemary, this is the concern, defamation. Is it really clear? Where does the buck stop? Because defamation of parliament is quote-unquote vague, Rosemary.
Okay, just to take you back, the fine is 500,000.
We talk about the fine, Rosemary. Just we're looking at how clear is this clause?
We think it is not a bit clear. It's a bit vague, because when they talk about defaming parliament, is it parliament as an institution, or is it parliament when you refer to the conduct of members, or when you cover anything within the premises of parliament? The clause is not a bit clear on where the buck stops as a journalist. Where are we allowed to cover, and to what extent, and to what level? When you cover, then they say you've defamed parliament.
Some of the arguments that are being given by journalist Rosemary is that this is now open to abuse. It's very easy to abuse these clauses. What do you think?
That is true, because anyone can use it. Is open. It's an open check for parliamentary for the MPs. And you see, the relationship between journalists and parliament has not been good. It's a love-hate relationship. So in this case, you'll find that MPs who feel that maybe to the extent that we cover them, we are exposing them more, will use these clauses to plow back on us or gag us. Because you see, at this level, they are supposed to be giving us that open. If you look at the Constitution, it talks about media freedom. So at this level, we are not supposed to be told to what extent we are able to cover parliament, because when we are in parliament, we are the eye of the public. If you look at Constitution chapter 118, it talks about public participation. That is, the public is supposed to scrutinize the members, because they have given the members that supreme power to represent them. Because the supreme law and Article 1 talks about supreme power by the people. It can be exercised directly or through their elected members. And now, since the public are not in parliament, the journalists are there. That is their role, to be able to bring to the public whatever is happening in parliament. We are able to expose the corruption in parliament, the ills in parliament, at the same time also show the public the legislations that are going on, or because parliament is a watchdog. But now when we are told that if you publish, to what level you can publish on issues parliament or committee or the proceedings in the House, then it means either this, what Parliament is trying to do is either to intimidate the journalists, to hide some things, or shield their conduct in Parliament.
Which brings me to my next question. Attempt to gag the media. Yes. Why do you think the members of Parliament are so afraid of the media?
If you look at this constitution, we are having an a pure presidential system. So you find that the other arms of Parliament, Parliament is able to oversight what they do. But who watches the watchdog? This is where the media comes in. We are the people who are supposed to expose what our members are doing. And if you look at all these laws, there is a deliberate attempt to also block the media from exposing what our members are doing. And this is why all the time they're bringing these laws so that they are able to be immune and the public are not able to scrutinize what they are doing or expose what they do in Parliament.
All right. Roslyn, allow me to play the devil's advocate and look at some of the arguments that were made in Parliament today. Some members saying the media need to also take responsibility. We must have people to be accountable for their actions. Journalism must be like other professions. Another leader says it's necessary for self-preservation. What are your thoughts?
I agree with them to some extent, but we also have other institutions that also check the media. We also censor ourselves on what we do. We have an extent whereby you cannot publish or carry things that you know are contrary to the law. We have the Media Council. We have the Editors Guild. We also have other institutions that oversight what we do. So I think to that level, I don't think the MPs are being genuine when they say that we are not able to also control what we cover.
Because the argument there, Roslyn, is that the basic thing that they're against is false and scandalous information. They're not gagging the media, but they're against false and scandalous information.
Okay, Linda, maybe the argument here should be to what they have been defamed, because I don't think Parliament is a court of law. And that is the work of the judiciary to determine to what level an individual or an institution has been defamed. So to this extent, I don't think the MPs are being genuine.
So looking at the clauses, let's talk about the fines. What is the fine?
The fine is $500,000.
Is there a jail term?
2 years.
So $500,000 or 2 years in jail?
Yes.
So this bill is now heading to the Senate. Yes. Are you in consultation with the Senate, probably just giving them your side of the story, what you think needs to be amended in this bill?
Okay, Linda, just to take you back on the fine and the 2-year jail term. If you look at it, how many journalists can raise that money? How many journalists with the media houses stand by them when they've been sentenced to a jail term? In a way, they're just trying to intimidate us and to make to gag the media to the extent that we are not able to expose what they do, because again, when you want to be transparent, there is the other question behind your back: to what extent am I exposing this story, and to what extent am I safe with this story? But to go to your question, yes, we have approached the Senate. We have talked to our members in the Senate, and we believe that they are reasonable enough, they are wise, and they will give this issue a more sober approach, because now it is off the MP's hands, the National Assembly, and it is headed to the Senate. We have had a chat with the Speaker of the Senate. We have had a chat with the leadership of the Senate, and that is not enough. We are going to lobby them. We are going to pass our memorandum just the same way we did with the National Assembly, and we hope they are going to consider all these issues that we put across, and then with that, our reservations will be considered.
Okay, Roslyn, so the man with the ultimate power, assuming this goes to the Senate and it passes through, is President Uhuru Kenyatta. So assuming he assents to this, how do you intend to seek redress? Because you're talking about gagging the media. How do you intend to seek redress for this?
Okay, Kenya Parliamentary Journalists Association is just one association. We have the Kenya Union of Journalists, we have the Editors Guild, we have Kenya Correspondents Association, and we have other media organizations that are also in this. We even have Article 19. We are going to consolidate all these people. We are going to have a stakeholders meeting, And from there, we are also going to approach not only the House, but even the committee concerned that the Speaker will commit this bill to, so that they can also give a second thought to our reservations.
Roslyn, the Constitution of Kenya is very clear on the freedom of the media, saying the state shall not exercise control over or interfere with any person engaged in broadcasting, the production or circulation of any production or dissemination of information by any medium. What does this bill now do to the freedom of the press?
What we see this bill trying to do is to negate the gains that we gained in the Constitution. It might not be outright, but I think it is a soft way to muzzle the media. And we believe that the President has been outspoken on this. He has committed to freedom of the press. And we believe that if this bill goes to him, let's hope that he will give it a second thought. He might reject it and not sign it. And if he does, then the next stage is go to
Roslyn Obala, Chairperson, Kenya Parliamentary Journalist Association, from our I&M studio in town. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And of course, the reason why this is a matter of contention is because looking at the Constitution is very clear about the freedom of the media. But then, that is the Constitution. The members of Parliament have passed that bill today. And we're looking at the supremacy of the Constitution, because that is where the hope of journalists is concealed. Supremacy of this Constitution. Well, this is what the Constitution says. This Constitution, let's go back to the first board before this. There we go. So, the Constitution of Kenya as you know it. This Constitution is the supreme law of the Republic and binds all persons and all state organs at both levels of government. The validity or legality of this Constitution is not subject to challenge by or before any court or other state organ. Any law, including customary law, that is inconsistent with this Constitution is void to the extent of the inconsistency, and any act or omission in contravention of this Constitution is invalid. Let's see how this goes in the coming days. Of course, this bill now heads to the Senate.